So in today's video, I want to cover a topic that is going to be really interesting for athletes out there, and especially for people who are used to Strava for recording their activities and training sessions. So today we will build a very simple make.com scenario that goes to Strava, pulls all of our data, all of our training data, and feeds it into a Google Sheet. And why is this important? Why do we do that? It's because by exporting everything from Strava into a Google Sheet, we can then use this data, send it to the AI of our choice, whether that be ChatGPT or Claude, or doesn't really matter what you prefer. And we can use we can then use these LLMs to ask questions and uncover some trends and realize how we are doing with our training, whether our form is improving, whether we've reached a plateau, what we can improve, etc. And this is going to be the first, or one of the first video from a couple of video series that we will cover how to use AI to train better, train smarter, and make more data-driven and research-based decisions regarding our training. And of course, before we continue, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a professional coach. I am an amateur, like most of people. So take any advice from AI with a grain of salt, because it may be a bad advice for you and you can hurt yourself. So with this important disclaimer out of the way, we can continue. And so the first step is going to be to actually build our scenario that pulls historic data from our Strava account. And at the end of the video, I will show you how to upgrade this flow so that it pulls data every day, and every time you do a training session, it will be automatically imported into your Google Sheet. So I'm starting with the Google Sheet first. First thing you gotta do is create a Google Sheet with the relevant metrics that you want to pull from your Strava. The basic that you can't go without is the date where when the activity took place, the type of sport, could be cycling, running, hiking, swimming, etc. So these two are very important. Of course, your Strava ID, this is your profile ID and your activity ID. Every activity on Strava has a unique ID, and we need it just to make sure we don't pull one activity twice or more. The other metrics like distance, time, elevation gain, average heart rate, max heart rate, average pace, and calories are specific to you. So in my case, I'm mostly a runner these days. I care about my my distance, the time I spent running, the elevation gain for every run, my average heart rate, my maximal heart rate, and my average pace, and of course calories. Because I need this data and I want to adjust my training based on this information. So If you don't know how to connect your Google Sheet account to Make, go and check our other video. And also, if you don't know how to connect your Strava to Make.com, we have a video for this as well. So first thing we gotta do is add a Strava module. So this one is going to be list activities. We need this one to pull all of our activities that are already on Strava. For this video, I will limit myself to 5 to 10 activities, but you can pull everything, hundreds or even thousands of activities if you have on Strava. It's not a problem. So first we need to define the time range. So here in start date, I would say I want to pick all activities from the past, let's say 10 days. But if you've been using Strava for a year or 2, 5 years, you can easily pull even activities that took place a couple of years ago. So start date, in my case, it's going to be let's say August 25, and end date is going to be yesterday, September 3rd. So for you, this could be a totally different time range. Again, here under limit, you can define how many activities do you want Make to pull while running the scenario. So in my case, I want to limit this. I don't need to limit more than 10, because I don't believe I have more than 10 activities for this time period. The idea here is that Strava has very strict limits regarding how much requests you can send to their server. I think it's 100 requests every 15 minutes or something like this. You gotta check this for yourself. So the idea is, if you don't want to exceed the limit, you can go a bit under, like 99 or 90, just to keep safe. As I said, this is going to be just a test setup. I have one running separately that I use on a daily basis. So yeah, I'll just leave it at 10 today. Okay, so now if we hit run once, we'll see the module pulling up some activities. Okay, so we have them here under output in different bundles. So we have an afternoon weight training that I did on 2nd of September. We have, let's see, bundle 2. We have a run. We had a run that I did on September 1st. We also have a trail run, which I did on August 30th, etc. So let's see, 7 bundles. Okay, so we have 7 activities for this time period that we gathered. So how do we send this information to Google Sheets? First, we need to add a module, which is the iterator, and this one will help us pull the activities one by one from this module, which is the Strava module, and pull the activities one by one and send them as a separate rows in our Google Sheet. So here under array, we choose activity ID. Now we are ready to add our Google Sheet module, and select add a row. So here, if you select from all, you can just type your spreadsheet ID, which is right here, paste it, select your sheet. In my case it's Strava activities. So again, you have to prepare this in advance. Table contains headers, yes, and here I want to say do not I want to say please paste everything without a format. It's okay. Now we have to map our metrics. What do we want? So first one is going to be date. We just have to find the date here in the metrics that come from the Strava module. And here it is, start date. Cool. Now the problem is that start date comes with, as you can see, it's formatted with an hour. It's formatted with the name of the month. So we need to adjust it a bit. So instead of just drag and drop here the variable start date, we need to do the following. We need to do some formatting. So type slash, type format date. Now you can drag and drop your start date. And here after the column, you decide what format do you prefer. As you can see, you have a couple of examples here. I prefer day, and then month, and then year. So this is the format that the date will end up in my Google Sheet. Okay, so now under sport, so I do running, I do cycling occasionally, maybe some yoga, some strength training. So it's very important for me to know in each row what type of activities I have. So under sport, you can just come here and select type, and under distance, so I want distance in kilometers. You can do the math for you if you want it in miles. The thing with distance is that the Strava module pulls it in meters, so I need to calculate it and turn meters into kilometers. So the way I do this is with a very simple formula. So distance is let's just find it here, distance, drag and drop, and I want to divide it with the math operator, divide it by 1,000. Cool. Now here is time. What time did I spend running, let's say? So what's the elapsed time? So under time, you can either look for it here or use the search bar. In my case, I see elapsed time. I just drag and drop it here, and again time comes in what is it, seconds. So I need it in minutes. And again, just like distance, it's a very simple calculation. Again, we need the division operator. So we divide the minutes by 60 and we get the time in hours. So elevation gain, let's see if we find it here. Total elevation gain, that's exactly what I need. So heart rate and pace are what's left to find. So heart rate. Okay, average heart rate, great. We have it from the STRAVA module, and max heart rate. Cool, we are almost done. So average pace, let's see if we find this one here. Pace, no pace, average. So we have average speed and average watts, but we don't have pace. So how do we find what's our pace? We need to calculate it ourselves. Let's see, what about calories? As you can see, the list module, list activities module doesn't pull calories as well. So, so far we need to figure out how we get average pace and calories, but for STRAVA ID and activity ID, we can totally pull this easily. So activity ID is present here from the list activities modules, and athlete ID is basically your STRAVA ID account. So average pace, how do we calculate this? It's actually very simple, and we kind of did it already. We just need to combine the two formulas for elapsed elapsed time in minutes and distance in kilometers. So if I want my pace in minutes per kilometer, I need to use the following very basic formula. So I need some brackets here, average pace, and again here we divide elapsed time. So let's just put it right here. We divide elapsed time by 60 to turn it into minutes, not seconds. And we also need to divide this by kilometers to get the pace. So again, the division operator, and again we need brackets. So brackets come here, and again distance, which comes in, as I said, it comes in meters, so we need to turn it into kilometers. We divide meters by 8,000. So just like that. As you can see, we already did this in the distance and time elapsed time columns. So just make sure you don't have some extra spaces here. And I think we're good to go. Let's just click save for now. Okay, so far we've pulled all metrics that we need except for calories. And the reason is the list activities module for some reason doesn't pull this metric for each activity. So what we have to do now is to add another module between the iterator and Google Sheets, which will help us get our calories for every recorded activity on Strava. So in order to do that, just click your right click button, add module, and then select Strava again, and this time we need this module, get an activity. And here for activity ID we choose the value that's coming from the iterator. Click save. So the iterator pulls the activity ID from the first module, and the second Strava module pulls the activity ID from the iterator. Now we should be able to select calories here and map it into our Google Sheet. As you can see, we already have access to the variables coming from the get an activity module. So if you just type calories, you can drag and drop the variable here in the Google Sheet. So now let's run a test again and see how these metrics come into our sheet. So run once. And here I can see that almost everything is being sent correctly, except for the date, which is formatted weirdly. And I can tell you that the reason for this is because I forgot to put an apostrophe before the formula. So this way by adding an apostrophe before the format date formula, the data will be sent correctly to Google Sheet. So let's click save and see what else. Okay, so we have our the type of sport is correctly parsed. The distance is also correctly parsed. Of course, you can just decrease the decimal places and leave it like this. And you can also do the same for your time. Again, this is time in minutes. Elevation gain in meters is totally fine. Average heart rate is okay. Maximal heart rate is fine. We need to adjust the average pace. Of course, it will say infinity for weight training activities and every other activity which is not running, and it's expected, it's not an error. We have our calories correct, and of course Strava ID and activity ID will be correct as well. So we need to figure out the date and average pace. So let's see why this happens. Let me go back here. So format date, we already did that, and let's see the average pace. Yeah, I see the difference. The problem comes from this extra space. Let's get rid of it and click save and run the test once again. And let's just delete this, we don't need it anymore. And let's click run once and see how it behaves this time. So let's go back to Google Sheet. Okay, date is correct and pace is correct as well. So everything looks very good. What do we do from now? Let's say you have run this scenario successfully and you have pulled all of your data from Strava. Now the question is, how do you make this run successfully on a daily basis, and it feeds your Google Sheet with every activity that you do on Strava. So the question is, we don't want to do this manually every day or every week. We want to backfill all of our trainings at once and then have a scenario that runs daily and fetches all new Strava activities from our profile. Here we need to add a module, and let's select Google Sheets and search rows advanced. This is going to be the first module. Okay. Now what do we do here? We need to, like again, select our Google Sheet. So copy paste that. It's your spreadsheet ID. Select your sheet, and now we need to type a query that's gonna pull the latest date. In our case, that's going to be 2nd of September. And then we'll save this date, store it as a variable, and let's just click save and feed it here as a start date. And your end date is always gonna be now. So the end date is going to be the date at which the automation executes itself, so it's gonna adjust automatically. We can set it up like just select this dynamic variable, which is the current date and time, so end date is always now. Now what about the start date? Now I'll show you how you can pull this from the Google Sheet. Okay, let's click save, and here the query is very simple. It's just order by a descending. So basically what it does is it orders column A by descending values, and it picks only the first result. So we need to limit this to 1. Oops, didn't save my Strava, my Google Sheet ID. Let's copy paste this again. All right, seems that it should work now. And now let's just add another module that's going to store our variable. So let's give it a latest date. Let's just name it latest date. So we select date. All right, and now I think we are good to go. Let's just map our start date in the Strava module, select our variable, the one that we just created, click save, and here we need to add a filter so that we don't duplicate data and add activities that are already in our Google Sheet. So just select set up a filter, and let's give it a name like duplicate check, for example. Let's give it the name duplicate activity check. All right, and here the condition is going to be, we don't want the activity ID coming from our Strava module to be equal as the activity ID that we pulled from our Google Sheet, which is right here. Okay, so let's make a recap of what we have here. So the way to pull all your past activities is just using these 4 modules, and after you've done that, then you can see all your activities formatted correctly in your Google Sheet. You can safely add these 2 modules. The first one that pulls the last activity that was recorded, pulls the date from this activity. Here we set this date as a variable, and then we update our list activities module with the latest date that's available in our Google Sheet, and the end date is going to be the current date. So we click save, and now the way I've set it up for myself, how often does this automation run? It runs on a daily basis, so every day, and I select, let's say 11 p.m. or something like this, just to make sure that even if I've recorded some activities on Strava late in the day, I can still pull them and send them on the same date to my Google Sheet. So click save, activate scenario, save your scenario, and you're good to go.